CBC Radio.
This is the Friday, June 25th edition and the final edition of the Max Ferguson Show. Once again, CBC Radio brings you the Max Ferguson Show. And now, finally, here's Max.
Al.
What?
For the first time in 30 years, I've dried up. I've got nothing to say. Take it, Al.
Steady, old man. You can do better than that. As I always say before the program starts, what are you going to say, Max? What are you going to say? You always come up with something. Never have I known you not to come up with something.
What?
And now, here's Max.
What indeed can I say?
I don't know. It's your program. Say what is in your heart. You're glad to leave. You're sorry to leave. All Canada will miss me.
It is a bittersweet day indeed.
Yes.
A bittersweet day. Because I think with all the publicity about my demise, I probably managed to give the impression that I just can't wait to shake the dust off the old CBC. But somehow...
That really is true.
After 30 years in the old corporation, you just can't write it off overnight. Indeed, there will be memories. Most of them happy ones that I'll take with me to Cape Breton.
Mm-hmm.
And now,
yes. What's your first piece?
I'll just wait for the Kleenex. Well, there's just a little circuitous route to get to the first piece, because again yesterday I'm trying to answer as much mail as possible, and again I say thank you to all those who wrote. I read every single letter, but I just can't answer them all. I'm just trying to answer as many as I can. But one stuck in my mind last night before I picked out my records. He must be a clairvoyant. As a matter of fact, he signed his name Mr. Clairvoyant. He's a transvestite. No, this chap said, I have a feeling that you're going to play on your final show Farewell to Sicily.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
And you're not, are you?
No.
You're not going to.
No, there goes that over.
Yes.
No, I was. I hadn't picked the records up, but I said I must hear this once again,
yes.
And I hope there are others who enjoy hearing it once again. What Ewan MacColl described as the finest piece of music to come out of World War II, and in that he included Lily Marlene, sung by Alistair Gillis, this Gaelic-speaking Scot, and it opens a fine medley of Scottish military airs, this tune called Farewell to Sicily.
The piper is dozy, the piper is fair, he will nae be run for his veen o' the day. The sky Messina, it's unco and grey, and all the persuades are weary. Say farewell, ye banks o' Sicily, fare ye weel, ye valley and shore. There's nae jock will mourn the kyle to ye, all the persuades are weary. Venture the pipe and grab the tenor drum, leave your kit this side of the war. Venture the pipe and grab the tenor drum, all the persuades are weary. Say farewell, ye banks of Sicily, fare ye well, ye valley and shore. There's nae jock will mourn the kyle to ye, all the persuades are weary. Twa recruiting sergeants come frae the Black Watch, tae markets and fairs, some recruits for to catch. But all that they listed was 40 and 2, sailist, bonny laddie, and come the war, for it's over the mountain and over me. Through Gibraltar to France and Spain, with a fair and the kilt in your knee. And listen, bonny laddie, and come awa wi me. Laddie, you dinna ken the danger that you're in. If your horses was to flee and your housing was to run, the greedy old fair nor when a fire fee. Say, list, bonny laddie, and come awa wi me. For it's over the mountain, over the main, through Gibraltar to France and Spain, with a fair sail burning and a kilt in your knee. And list, bonny laddie, and come awa wi me. Say, list, bonny laddie, and come awa wi me. The Black Watch abroad, the sea for the north, but the cock-airy gardens of pride o'er them all. March no more, my soldier laddie, there is peace where there once was war. Sleep in peace, my soldier laddie, sleep in peace, now the battle's o'er. March no more, my soldier laddie, there is peace where there once was war. Sleep in peace, my soldier laddie, sleep in peace, now the battle's o'er. Say farewell, ye banks of Sicily, fare ye weel, ye valley and shore. There's nae jock will horn the kiles of ye, the persuades are
That medley sung by Scotland's Alistair Gillis.
Max, I would say, what are you going to say, Max? What are you going to say? But here's someone who wants to say something to you. Where?
Max Ferguson has always been one of my top favorites. He has a wonderful philosophy of life. His kindness and compassion shone through in all his caricatures of those that he honored. For after all, he had one infinite capacity. He could caricature one, but never did he say anything that was hurtful. We could laugh at ourselves in being the subject of his programs. I know I shall miss him very greatly. I am not one that is prone to retirement, and I only wish that he would have continued. However, Cape Breton's a wonderful place for a wonderful man, and all of us who know him well will wish him happiness and good health. The very best to Max Ferguson.
I've never heard you do Mr. Diefenbaker better.
I could spot Ferguson's voice all through that. I thought that was that was just sprung on me here. That was very moving, I must admit.
Yes.
Very, very
Charming man.
pleased to have him do. It's rather strange, too, to hear his voice coming in, because nobody told me this was going to happen. Because the last thing I did, 2:30 this morning, was to lift the top off my desk, a bookcase, put it on the floor, check the hernia, picked up the glass top off, and underneath the glass top I have 6 drawings of the rawhide characters done by a girl 30 years ago.
Around the lighthouse?
In the Kentville, no.
Oh.
She drew them when she was a TB patient of the Kentville Sand. And flanking those 6 photographs were 2 letters, both from John Diefenbaker, that he had written me. After having put him in some ridiculous situation in a skit, and he wrote very sportingly say how he always enjoyed to be featured on my program.
Good for him.
Well, it really was a very nice gesture, and I thank him. Dear, oh dear. Let's put all my thoughts out. Oh, yes, I was going to ask you, on behalf of many listeners who have asked, are you going to continue on in this spot? That recurring question turned up in the letters. And not knowing, really, what is going to be in this spot, I just said, I don't know. If he isn't fired before the summer, he might continue on. But have you heard anything with it, what your plans are?
Well, my plans are not concerned with this half hour. From 3:30 to 4 is going to become, my understanding is, a local autonomy. In other words, all the programs across the country that go on locally, the driving home shows, as they call them, that go on from 4 to 6, will now go from 3:30 to 6. And then when somebody else falls by the wayside, it will go from 3 to 6. And then when someone else, maybe we can hope for that, will go from 2 to 6, long driving home periods, apparently, with the staggered hours, you see, something like that. No, I will not carry on in this spot. Who could fill those
the ultimate
giant shoes?
Good morning, folks. The time now is 7 a.m.
Exactly,
and for those of you driving home from work.
Driving to and home.
Alan has always
that solves it.
Always the Delphic Oracle, because you have always had your ear, I think I mentioned this once before, to management's pulse.
And to the ground, yes.
And to the ground.
Yes. It's the only way to survive.
If Alan McPhee says it, it's got to be true.
Well, I think that's it. I couldn't swan to it, but I think so.
Yeah. The trio O de Mira. They're not coming to the spot because they are on recording.
Oh, yeah.
They are Portuguese. I always thought they were Mexican because they put out this fine LP called Souvenirs of Mexico.
You've been saying that for years. Suddenly we find out in the last day?
Alan?
Misinformation.
We have careful words for the strangers and smiles for the sometimes guests.
Ah, you put things
but
so
off
beautifully.
for our own, the bitter tone, though we love our own the best.
There he goes again, right to the last.
Another one learned about
Silver-tongued
mother's knee and other joints. The trio O de Mira sings the beautiful Malagueña Salerosa.
Debajo de esa roseta, debajo de esa roseta, qué bonitos ojos tiene. Ellos me quieren mirar, pero si tú no los dejas, pero si tú no los dejas, ni siquiera parpadear. Salerosa, besar tus labios quisiera, besar tus labios quisiera, malagueña salerosa, y decirte niña hermosa.
That's almost the musical swing of the pendulum, because that has to be one of the first records. Years ago I heard that song, played it by the trio Los Trio Los Paraguayos.
Yes. Yes.
There. We heard it done by the trio.
Yes.
Odemira.
Yes, I've heard it before. I know it note by note. Yeah, what?
You have a short attention span, Alan. You're always looking for something new. You can't stick with old favorites like that.
No, I
You're
suppose
always searching for something new, restless.
Yeah, over a period of 15
Questing
years.
for something that you'll never find.
Yeah, that's true.
You've never thought of looking in your heart for it, Joe.
No. No, dear.
I mentioned Ewan McCall's name a few moments ago, attributing to him that line that the Farewell to Sicily was the best song to come out of World War II. Here's the best song, or one of the best, to come out of Ewan McCall. And what a felicitous combination. Ewan McCall's music and Nana Mouskouri's voice. And a song that certainly transcends time, because not only did I think this is a gorgeous piece of music, but my teenage youngsters, I played it for them thinking they'd put it down, and they thought it was just great. So there's two generations that can enjoy Ewan McCall's The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face.
Max Ferguson speaking. I'm calling to complain that Max Ferguson, I think, really prevented me from becoming Prime Minister of this country as a result of his lousy imitations of me. But I would like to pay tribute to a man who has had a very profound effect on Canadian culture, nevertheless. Because not only has he persuaded Central and Western Canadians to call Maritimers, but he's persuaded Maritimers to call themselves Maritimers. Even more important, he set Canadians laughing at themselves. And he has the good sense to retire to Cape Breton. I hope this is only the first of many retirements by Max Ferguson.
You always say I'm never at a loss for words, but these things are coming out of the blue.
I'll repeat it once again. What are you going to say now, Max? What are you going to say?
Goodness
That was a delightful tribute.
Gracious.
A marvelous man. Boy.
I'm very thankful now. There's an article. I'll be in Cape Breton when it hits the newsstands, but it's in Maclean's magazine. And I'm very thankful now that in part of that article we walked around, the writer and myself, Casey Baldwin, around the park, and he took it down. I did manage to get in a few words about Robert Stanfield.
That's good.
In return for the lousy impersonation of his voice. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
What are you going to say, Max?
Well, I can just go back to the prosaic introduction of the next song, Alan, which is one that you took a great fancy to.
Yes, I did, Max. What is it, by the way?
It's composed by a maritimer,
Oh,
Larry
my
Croft.
favorite. Oh, yeah.
You know what it's going to be?
No, I have no idea.
The Sun, Moon, and Stars.
You're right. Yes.
That quilt
About
pattern.
making a quilt, yes.
And the whole lady's life took place under that quilt.
Yeah, kneading the dough and all that kind of stuff. Isn't that the sort of thing?
No, she didn't bake bread under it.
No,
But, all her children were conceived under it.
Good.
It symbolized her whole
Yeah.
life. It's a poignant and a very attractive song. Sun, Moon, and Stars, sung by Robert Stanfield. I'm sorry, Larry Croft. Oh, head spinning.
Moved over the kitchen and set up the loom. With colors bewitching, she shuffled a tune. Fell in love with the dark eyes, and soon she was wed with the sun and the moon and the stars on her bed. Send ribbons of darkness to tie up the sky. The summer boiled down and the winter rose high. On sweet summer puddings and cinnamon bars, she conceived and bore sons neath the sun, moon, and stars. From the left to the right, how the shuttle slides through, weaving her love in an undenied hue, making patterns of memories, a weaver of dreams, from a warp that she's wound with her heartstrings. The winters grew longer, the gold rush had gone, the lumen grew idle, her fingers were drawn like the lips of the stranger who sips milk from jars and burnt out in her sleep neath the sun, moon, and stars. From the left to the right, how the shuttle slides through, weaving her love in an undying hue, making patterns of memories, a weaver of dreams, from a warp that she's wound with her heartstrings. From the left to the right, how the shuttle slides through, weaving her love in an undying hue, making patterns of memories, a weaver of dreams, from a warp that she's wound with her heartstrings.
All of us at 24 Sussex Drive were indeed saddened to hear of the death 10 years ago of Alan McPhee, and the fact that he's continued working with the CBC since then is certainly a tribute to his intestinal fortitude. Thank you. They're just pouring in this morning. Here is the great bass voice of Janos Kurtz and Moscow Nights.
Если ж не в саду даже широки, съезде замен оба утра, если б знали как недороги
crafts for Moscow nights. And now, with the minutes running out, the grains of sand dropping rapidly into the lower part of the hourglass, we must save time for Clary Croft's Hymn to Cape Breton.
Brodenar, Cape Breton, Chimugray, Chivertaline, Cape Breton is the land I love, land of lakes, of mighty mountains. Cape Breton is the home for me. Loveliest land in all the wide world. Cape Breton, Chimugray, Chimangron, Brodenar, Cape Breton, Chimugray, Chivertaline, hallo. Cape Breton, Chimugray, Chinangru, Brodenar, Cape Breton, Chimugray, Chivertaline, hallo, Chivertaline, hallo.
Well, it seems appropriate to follow that Cape Breton song with my farewells. Difficult task after 30 years. I can only say a sincere thanks to all those who have listened, who have written over the years and given me more recognition, I think, than any Canadian performer would have a right to expect. And a thanks to all those over the years who have helped me with the show, in particular our present setup. Keith Duncan, who has been producing, Dermot Kenny at the controls of the mighty organ, and old Blackie McPhee.
Old Al.
For your cooperation, great rapport, and a million laughs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
CBC Radio. The end of an era perhaps is a phrase that's loosely bandied about from time to time, but today it has legitimate significance. Today you heard the last broadcast just a few moments ago in the illustrious career of Max Ferguson. 30 years of unique contributions to Canadian show business and indeed to Canadian culture. Max, all we can say in tribute is you're marvelous. The years have flown by all too swiftly. Time goes, you say? Oh, no. Alas, time stays. We go. But as you go, may we say thank you very much, Max. Thank you for all that you've done in and for Canadian broadcasting, and I'm sure speaking for many thousands of Canadians, may I say to you, Max, will you come back again?